Yes, I'm going to do an official P&J announcement. As you know, Mr. Horn, like I said, I have adjusted the January flesh to January the 3rd, which was actually the original date for the next flesh before the unplanned, or rather quickly planned, December flesh, which was concluded yesterday. Because obviously now is Thursday, the 18th of December. So the original date was January the 3rd, but because of December, I moved to middle of January. But however, um, we do January the 3rd, and then, like I said in my previous messages, the one after will be the middle of February. So after January the 3rd, there will be a 6-week gap between fleshes, and then it'll go back. I'm going to try back the 4-week format, but there will be an occasional 6-week gap in order to, you might have something to do with Manchester, or sorry, Bury, or you might have something on where you're going away or something, you know what I mean? So we'll set it after the 6-week gap from January the 3rd to February the 14th. We'll set the default setting of 4 weeks, but I probably will slip in an occasional 6-week gap in order for both of us to do our own shit without having to, oh my god. Official P&J, what we will say we will support is obviously Asda's exceptional as an essential single origin coffee, which they have two, as you know, Brazilian and Colombian. Now you'll prefer the Brazilian over Colombia. And obviously another thing that we will support is obviously the Irish curry sauce that is at Carver's Fish and Chip Restaurant in Ashby High Street, and their large, lightly battered sausage. Yes. And also, yeah, like I said, I have created more pre-shop noshes. I still haven't done that one for January, because I think there will be another one for January, because obviously there's that 6-week gap between the January flesh and the February flesh. I still haven't checked that out. Yeah, so like I said, we'll have. So we had that one, was kind of not really a proper flesh, although it was. But it was like, just realised we had our moons were aligned. It was guarding time off. So yeah, so next flesh will be January the 3rd. Then it'll be a 6-week gap to mid-February, and then there'll be a 4-week gap after that. But like I said, there'll be sometimes I might go, something. I'm going to change that one to 6 weeks, but then next week will be 4 weeks. So always constantly check the events. Like I say, January the 3rd was the original scheduled flesh for the new year before this surprise December one popped up. But at least it leaves us all free for the festivities. I'm not going to really attempt that we did. I think we did it on one occasion, where we were delayed leaving because the delivery from that kebab shop was late, if you remember. I left that place somewhere in North Yorkshire, and I got to Scunthorpe too sweet, but we were waiting for the kebab shop to have its man drop the stuff off at your house. And obviously the following year, I thought you were waiting to see if you had to work New Year's Day or something like that. It turns out you decided to do it anyway. But anyway, so that's why I'm not doing New Year's anymore. It's a bit of a ball ache. But yeah, I'm going to check out, like I said, outside. I've just got back from dropping Gushrop at Hershittle, somewhere in South Yorkshire. Um, and then see if I've missed that pre-shop nosh slot for January. So that would be, well, will that be January the 14th? I've done it already. Or is it the end of January? It might be end of January. I think January the 14th pre-shop nosh might already be in. So once I'm going to watch a bit more of, again, of Man versus Baby with Rowan Atkinson on Netflix. So the January the 31st is the missing slot for another opportunity for a pre-shop nosh, because as I said, the next flesh after that one will be February the 14th. And they've got a special belated birthday, but he's almost said it would have been his birthday, like, but it lands on what would have been Mailman's birthday, which is there's a pre-shop nosh for February the 28th. So, like I say, keep on checking the group events. If I change something, I will try to remember to put an announcement in the group to say check the events. I've changed the date for that flesh. And then obviously the following fleshes will be altered if they have to be. So we could use like the 6-week flesh, or sometimes like if I can't make that flesh, but I could do 2 weeks after. So that week we can change the 4-week flesh to then there'll be a 6-week gap, because on the 4-week gap you've got something on. So I could do a 4-to-4 ratio, but we can always change it to a 6-week if the 4-week date, which is in the group, cannot be met by one or both parties. That's not a bad idea. Or just occasionally I might just do it anyway, just to give us a bit of a breather. So just keep on regularly checking the events. You will know it makes sense. Ricicles. Yeah, again, another flesh went as fast as an express train with a rocket up its arse. But I do like the idea, as I said last night, of the next flesh. Try and get some of the titles that, I mean, for all I know, you could have actually know about some of these films. You probably seen them like, actually that film since 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Last time I saw that film. So that is always a possibility. So like I said, some of them have been restored by or distributed by Arrow Films, with like a 1980s video company intro, very very retro intro by Arrow Films. Some are distributed and restored by Powerhouse Films, or I think they're also known as 88 Films. I mean, there's a very good one that I should watch next time. It stars Patrick Allen, and it's called The Body Stealers. And it is quite. It turns out it's like an affectionate, like brief encounter type love story, but of an unusual nature. I think it's called The Body Stealers. There's another one which stars Ian Bannon. It's not really a horror film. It's not really psychological. It's I would say it's a film with environmental motives. contamination, that kind of thing. It's not a horror film. It's not a thriller. It's not psychological. It's more the environment. It's good. It's another one distributed by 88 Films. There's another one that I want to get. I remember what it's. I know it stars this actor. Apparently, it's like a psychological thriller. I can't. Susan George might be in it, or Susan Penhaligon. So now I think it's like Neither the Land or the Sea or something. I mean, I've never heard it, but I know it was released a while back. I don't know when I'm going to get it, but I will consider it. But then I've seen it was actually one of those like little promotional things you see in the general feed on Facebook. It was eBay, and it's all the Halloween films from the original 6 that Donald Pleasance did to the remakes. So all the Halloween films, I think 12 films altogether. Now that is on my hit list.